What's up, guys? Tim in the North, back on the ranked ladder. Today we are in Arabia, and my opponent is Peking Duck Push. Interesting name. I will not forget it, that is for sure. My opponent is playing as the Wei. Civ I'm not super familiar with, but the Civ that I'm debating on switching over to after the Byzantine. It's one of them. Something a little bit different about this Civ compared to the rest of the civilizations is the traction trebuchet. It is produced out of the Siege Workshop, I believe, not the castle. Just think it's interesting, and it just seems like a cooler Civ, I guess. So I am considering them next. But for now, yeah, we are in Arabia. It's Arabia Dark Age things. We have animals to push, so a little bit more to do this time around. Let's see how we both make out with pushing our Mouflon. They're kind of cute. They look like rams. Yeah, I've started pushing. Maybe my opponent's not going to push. They also miss their cows. One thing to call out: a lot of food on this Arabia map. The cows seem to last a bit longer. Wild boar, I think, are lower on the list of wild hunt, or is it that other thing with the nose that looks like Snuffleup, I guess. I guess my opponent's just scouting the perimeter of the base. They've gotten everything, so pretty good scouting. Let's see how I'm doing, and we can bump this up a little bit. It's just Dark Age. It's not that serious, and I say that as I completely whiffed on getting that guy under the town center. So, yeah, I've grabbed my hunt. My opponent opted to not push in, and it's probably fine because, like I said, there's a lot of food on this map. The cows, I feel like, are a bit heftier. 150. I think that's higher than the other animals. At least it feels higher. My opponent wants to antagonize the Vils on berries, which is fine. It slows down the worker efficiency a little bit. Sorry, we're looked over one too many here. I was setting the colors. I'm actually teal here, or in game I'm supposed to be teal, but I've been playing with the red blue. Just a better mini map vision. So my opponent has clicked up the feudal age. 18 Vils, which I can tell you right now, I've not been as good with. It's been 19 Vils for me since my return back to doing Age of Empires. I'm just not leaving enough on food early enough. Or, you know what it is? It's the third Vil going to the lumber camp. So, yeah, a little bit slower getting up, but that's fine. It does allow for militia timing to feel a little bit better, and that's what I'm going for. I believe my opponent is going for something, yeah, going for the stable. So they want to go with a scout rush here. We're both in the feudal age. 9, 7, and 2, 8, 8. Yeah, so I have some on gold, so I can afford the man-at-arms upgrade and the actual units themselves. Opponent is going to queue up some, yeah, two scouts here, and I'm in the walls, and I'm just, you know, returning the annoyance back to my opponent and chasing this guy under the town center, and I'm in danger, and just get out of there with 3 HP. And we have combat over here. So I did find the scouts coming over with the militia, which is not ideal. This Vil picked off this scout, so it's 3 on 2 right now. Man-at-Arms came in just in time. And he's going to tap the walls here to prevent me from getting in. Smart move. And this is going to keep me out. I know that my opponent's pressuring me back here, so I'm queuing up spearmen. But he did come back to the wall. And we're going to get these scouts and these guys are going to survive a little bit longer, and that's going to delay the pressure from my opponent. So I know that I'm not going to get in here. I'm not going to invest a whole lot more into Man-at-Arms at all. But it's a matter of preventing my opponent from pressing with too many scouts at this point. So 2 scouts out here. We're going to go back and forth as our idle TC time climbs up to almost a minute at this point. And I'm going to lose this Man-at-Arms, but it's a matter of just how much damage I can get on one of these scouts. So he wants to move forward. Going back to my base, I'm going to lock down the front. So the openings, this is it's an awkward base. I think I've had one of these before, but previously there was another tree, so I was, had 4 tree lines, which gave me a little bit more security. But I'm open over here. Obviously they can run back here, and I'm exposed on all these sides. So it's a little bit of a weird base. A little bit easier for my opponent to wall with. I feel like their TC is a little bit closer to the back. There's a little bit more, walkway here. But enough of me going over the formation of the base. We have a match going on. Positioning some spears. And I did manage to pick off one of these. He probably just clicked back here to run and wasn't expecting the spearman to be there. Again, I think, yeah, the line of sight, I think I'm gonna miss when I when I move to another civ. There's so much visibility, and I'll be honest, I never thought much of it. Never thought much of it. But it does give you much better time to react to things. And I'm probably gonna have to start grabbing Town Watch because I am just too comfortable using this now. So, yeah, so hard times are on the way, and that is because of the lousy base that I have and my inability to really deal with it, I guess. This hill here made it awkward to place buildings, so that's why I'm working this way and didn't go in this direction. So that is going to haunt me. I'm gonna be honest. So horse collar coming in for my opponent. I haven't grabbed it yet. Usually that's a on the way up to Castle Age grab for me. We do have 12 farms. That was a struggle clicking that. And we have the rest on berries. So food is pretty strong right now. And we've clicked up the Castle Age. So I do see this scout out here, and I'm like, it can't be new scout pressure because this guy was beat up earlier, so probably still just looking around. I'm not sure what to play here. I don't really know what to expect from the way. Haven't played them too often, and I think I'm at this point. I'm just thinking like Cav at this stage because I'm like it's the quickest way to get over there and attack the walls and see if I can get through. And yeah, my opponent is going to wall up the other side of their base, so they're pretty thick on defense over here right now. But yeah, pressure is going to be coming, and it's going to suck. My opponent does have a lot more idle TC time than I do. They are still 2 vills ahead though, and that's because they went up to Castle Age a little bit later than me. So this will balance back out. Opponent is dropping archery ranges over here, and they're grabbing fletching. So we know that they are thinking in terms of a ranged unit. Also, in terms of building out my base, I'm not entirely sure to where to drop my town centers. I'm thinking right here. I do see this gold back here, but I'm like, there's no trees near it. I usually like to drop by 2 resources, one being trees and, something else. So this is kind of wide open if I drop back here. So I'm going to settle for this one for right now. Have my camels coming out. Opponent's grabbing all their archer upgrades. And they should be ready to grab, I guess, Bach and Arrow at this point. Grabbing Wheelbarrow. I'm assuming they get Bach and Arrow. Oh. Let's go. Oh, I trampled that scout that was out there. I guess the bracer being there shows that they go all the way up. Yeah, there's Bach and Arrow. Okay. So, yep. Zombie Raider? I guess that's how you pronounce that. Where did that come? That's coming out of here. Okay, so it seems that we have a special cav archer unit in their archery ranges, and I'm about to find out that they have. We'll call them cav archers because they're archers on cavalry. So I'm gonna have some engagement here. I'm gonna see this and lose a little bit of health. Grabbing horse collar and my mining upgrade. I'm still stuck on what I want to do. I don't know. At this point, I see those units and I'm thinking I'm gonna need to get skirms. But just slow to react on my end here. I want to group these units together. We have 4 on stone. My opponent is using 1 TC, so they're kind of going heavy military-wise, and that now makes sense. I don't feel as bad about this one. I don't feel as bad about this one now that I'm seeing that they had 1 TC. So yeah, they're going a little bit more aggressive with military. A lot of resource, a lot of food. How are they up to 800 food already? That's kind of crazy. They didn't hunt this. Interesting. So pressure going to come in. This is fortunately walled off. Much easier to see with small tree mod on that I made it all the way up there. So I knew I didn't have to worry about this. However, I am worried about back here. As I said, I hated this base, and I'm going to drop a tower. Grabbing the chain barding for cav units, and I'm gonna have to pull back here because those guys will definitely cook my bills. But now that I have military here, they're gonna have to push them out, and we're gonna have to get this tower up. So kind of expensive on stone. It's gonna delay me getting a castle up. It does not stop me from getting a 3rd town center though. So these guys chase around for a little bit. My unit has a far superior military right now, and they're gonna pick off everything that I have. So I'm gonna pull back here. This guy gets sacrificed to delay them for just a little bit, and I am now grabbing elite skirm. This was terrible. This was absolutely terrible, and I changed the gather rally point for this archery range, and it did not help. So when this guy pops out, he's lost in the woods here, and he's gonna have friends though. He's not gonna be alone. He'll have some guys with him. It won't be too bad. Grabbing a university so I can have ballistics. I have a score lead right now, and it's largely from the resources collected from the larger Vil count. So opponent is gonna run this way. I guess he did not realize I was dropping a tower here, and I left the military here in case I needed to stall or delay. So these guys are gonna garrison inside the tower. I'm gonna pull my camels over here. I know the camels are done, like they're not gonna make it, but it's a matter of stalling, and I'm gonna try to jump back and forth a little bit here, see if I can dodge as ballistics just now comes in. This tower killed 1 unit, and I did not have ballistics myself. So yeah, this is rough here. I don't even have fletching yet, so I'm not doing a ton of damage. Fortunately, my town centers and tower are all connected for the most part, except for this small gap here in terms of their attack radius. So Yeah, this is not good for me. It's gonna slow my eco down, and I really don't have a military to deal with this right now, but I do have the right unit on the field, and Bacanera is coming in now. So I will be able to mop these guys up a little bit quicker if I can just mass some elite skirmishers. And yeah, we're up to 4 guys in here. I'm trying to cut through and save them, but they're still lost. Armor upgrade coming in. My opponent sees that they're not getting a ton of damage, I guess, so they're investing in the long run now. I'm gonna drop a castle here. It's the front of the base. It prevents any kind of, like, rams trying to push through the front. And, yeah, if they run in here, they're constantly under fire from something, except for, like, this small little area here. Still hanging out in there. I do have a bunch of ranges. I threw down a ton of ranges because I thought this guy was going to go super heavy into this Cav Archer unit, Zombie Raider. And, yeah, wanted to make sure I was ready to deal with that. I'm going to put some houses here, not to stop anything from coming down, but to, funnel them. Make it a little bit easier. Thumb Ring coming in for my opponent. Fire a little bit faster. We're still not through these trees. I am missing the military there. I think the rally point did start to work in my favor here. And gathering everybody here. So we're up to 21 skirms. It's a lot of food being invested. Opponent's got a monk in queue. And now we have the Heigong cavalry. I gave up on this, by the way. I made so many ranges. I was like, you know what? I just want the units. I want the units, and I want to push forward with it. Earlier, I did make this palisade wall. This isn't perfectly aligned with houses. We are going to take this down right here, yeah, because I'm trying to gather everybody here. So, we're moving forward. We're going to find those pesky archers, and we're gonna eventually fire on them. Pretty good damage, but my opponent has swapped over to a cav unit, which will absolutely destroy the skirms. So, the camels are here to deal with that. I just feel like the camels just seem weak. I know they're probably getting hit by the... Alright, he went down. They're probably getting hit by the Cav Archer unit here. But yeah, we balanced out here. Not a great exchange for my opponent, but yeah, I suffered losses too, but a lot of mine were trash units. So there's an opening here. It's easier to see with the small tree mod. My opponent did get one kill on my eco here. Let's see if I can return the favor. Still getting a lot of military down. And yeah, it's not looking good for me to get an eco kill here. So still at 0. Nice looking castle though. I do like that. We're gonna retreat. This is not looking good at all. That unit will go down. And the kill-death ratio is just not in my favor either. I did drop another town center back here during that exchange. Again, the hill here and here made it tough to position this. So, I'm going to drop a siege workshop. In my mind, I was like, you know what? I can probably pressure the front of the base here at this point. I did a pretty good job at cleaning up military. He's probably going to want some time to recover his units. My opponent did press forward for some gold and is dropping a town center right here. Probably could have just dropped the town center. It's a little bit better than the mining camp. And this did nothing for me. I was getting ready to wall and protect myself with a house. I had nothing to protect these villas, so I am losing more villagers. I am up with a significant Vil lead though, and I've clicked up to Imperial Age, and that's mainly because I've been on at least 3 town centers for a while now, and I have a 4th one, which is, you know, those Vils aren't doing anything, but they're there for moral support. In response to this, I've seen more of this Tiger cavalry come out, and it's been pretty deadly. So I'm like, I need to add more cavalry units to try and deal with this with camels, because I'm not seeing the cav unit, the cav archer out anymore. So I'm like, the skirms are kind of throwing sticks at people and not piercing any of that armor. So this is going to get cleaned up. I had a mangonel in queue, and I garrisoned it, you know, I had queued within the building. I'm going to pop out now and hopefully get a kill. I'm not getting anything with this, am I? Oh, 1. He got 1. We're at Imperial Age. Can't say I'm in a great position to push. I need to gather more units. And they're gonna rip through that. Oh my god, look at that. 3 monks back here. Capes blowing in the wind, healing these guys up. This is looking kind of scary. I'm trying to mass just whatever I can back here. We're upgrading the light cav, we're grabbing heavy camel, and plate barding armor. Opponent has also clicked up to Imperial Age. A little bit behind because less Vils, they've produced a lot of gold units. Grabbing conscription, we want to be able to get units out a lot faster. And I have a you know, respectable army size here. We see that, you know, military counts in my favor. The cost or value is not in my favor, but we have a counter. I think this counters. The camels just feel so weak. So we'll check this out here. Deaths are going to pile up quickly. Already 39, 40. Yeah, that's racking up quick. Yeah, the camel just feels like trash. I killed 11 units there. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing the camel's weaker for the Byzantines. But I'm trying to drop another castle at this point. My opponent's also responding with the castle. We're under protection of castle fire here, but these Vils are completely toast. There's only 3 of them. I do have more guys sitting over here. We defended this. Managed to hold that. And I'm going to raid back here with the heavy camels that I have left. He's going to push forward, I guess, to see where I'm at with everything. He's going to be met with a lot of force. I have a lot of light cav over here. Let's not forget these guys. These were intentionally put back here. Siege workshops coming in. As I said, they don't get a traditional trebuchet. They get... Oh, I thought I clicked these guys to attack the wall. I thought they got through the wall in the game. I guess they just ran back here. That's crazy. But yeah, the traction trebs are going to come through these buildings here. But we're in the base, and this is an expensive unit to raid with. They are going to find value here, though. I am finally going to get some eco kills. We'll keep an eye on how many I'm trying to balance out over here. And we've pushed my opponent off gold pretty significantly there. 4 traction trebs in the queue. There's 2 castles here for my opponent. I have my castle up. And we got three eco kills. I'm trying to queue up what I can, and the castle is under fire here. So More camels going down. These elite skirms are not going to be able to do much. I think I set the rally point for all the stables to go back here to the trebs. So we're going to pick off these trebs. Again, we pushed my opponent off gold, and I guess they felt the pressure was just too much. Hey, a 150 peak. Let's go. So I guess my opponent felt like they were out of gas, and they might have been. I had a lot of stables. We had 46 on food, so we were going to be able to pump out the hussars for some time. We were getting trebs going. I think that's where my opponent thought it was too much, because we were cleaning this up here. Yeah, those guys were full HP. This was going down. We just they just lost that treb. Yeah, and this was exposed for raid. So I guess it makes sense. But yeah, good match against Peking Duck Push in the way. It was a fun one. I sent these guys back here because I thought they were going to get through, but I guess it makes sense that they didn't get through because the previous guys didn't get through there either. But that's going to do it for me, guys. For now, feel free to like, comment, consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Catch you on the next siege. Peace.